Hello, 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 y'all. Welcome to Homestead Believer. My name is Cherie. Today I wanted to feed my sourdough starter. It's a little late for me to feed her, but I wanted to feed my sourdough starter while I talk to y'all about what I learned as far as why she wasn't progressing, and if you're having the same struggles, this might help you. There's a few things I have to say before I feed her. Number one, I discovered temperature. I had kept her in the oven, but what I didn't realize was she wasn't getting the oxygen in there. So I literally just put her on the counter and made sure the kitchen was warmer by turning the oven on. I did have her on the heat mat for my seed starters. I had her on the heat mat. She progressed then, but then it stopped. It slowed down again. And sorry, my hair feels like it's in my face because it got all these fuzzies. Sorry, guys. It just slowed down. And what I discovered was she was hungry. So the equal amounts, like I was doing equal amounts, 100, 100, 100, and equal amounts, she wasn't thriving. So I actually wrote down what I was doing. This was trial and error on my part. What I started doing was about 150 grams of starter, 180 grams of water, 90 grams of rye flour, and 90 grams of bread flour. I like to do the rye and the bread flour, but you can most certainly do this with just wheat. So 90 and 90 is, do the math, 100. So I made sure that I was increasing my flour and my water so that there was more flour and water than starter. I was overfeeding her on purpose. And now she sits on the counter. The temperatures outside are fluctuating. I feed her every morning, and I'm at a point now where, and you'll see it when I feed her because I'll show you how I feed her. I'm at a point now where I pretty much wing it because I know how much starter is left in my jar when I pour it out. I know what I do kind of do is I do measure the flour, but I'm not exact. I'm never exact. I just try to make sure I have pretty much equal amounts of bread and rye. I'm not even exact with that. And the other thing I've noticed is the water situation. I was using purified water, and after doing some research, purified water doesn't have all the minerals that your starter needs to grow. I didn't know that because last time I made starter, it worked. But now I'm using filtered water out of my tap. I have a filter on my tap, so I'm using filter water. And she, like I said, she's thriving, man, because I'll tell y'all, and I can show y'all. My husband just finished the pancakes, but we have sourdough here. We have English muffins here. That's all sourdough. That's all sourdough. And today I'll be making a double chocolate quick bread out of the sourdough starter that I poured today. So she's thriving. I have so much starter in my refrigerator, I don't even know how to use it all. And I'm coming up with a ton of ideas, and I just don't know how to use it all. So I'm going to turn the camera down, and I'm going to show you how I feed my starter. And like I said, I am mixing the rye and the bread flour, but you can do this with wheat flour. So remember, I am not measuring anymore because I know what I have left. I've learned what I have left in my jar when I pour it out. I know I have half and half of the flour. Sometimes it's 160 grams. Sometimes it's 190 grams. Sometimes 180 grams when I put the two together. But I just pour it in, and then I just start pouring water. And I know by the feel, and I'll show you, I can tell by the texture and the feel if she's ready to go. So I'm going to turn the camera down so I can show you what I do. I'm still using this because I want her to get air. And this is what she looks like. She's ready to be fed. She's got that funky smell. When she's ready, she smells good. Right now she smells funky, is what I'd call it. I'm still not using metal. I don't clean my jar every time either. I don't clean my jar every time. I literally just kind of stir it down, and you can see she's all airy and bubbly. She looks good. She's full of life. She is full of life. She is thriving. The only thing I do is, which I better grab some, I do use paper towels to wipe the edge before I put my little, and I always moisten this because she still needs moisture, but I do wipe my edge so that I don't get this full of starter when I pour it out. So I just stir it up a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. I'm not particular. And here's what I do. You're never going to believe this because I know how much starter I need left in here. So I literally just pour it into a jar. I don't measure anymore. And once you get going, you'll know the feel for it. Use your measurements, but start paying attention to what starter you have in your jar. And you'll be able to do the same thing. I always know when I look down in that jar by the side when it's enough. And it's been working so far. I mean, this starter is very much alive. Woo! It's very much alive. Okay, so this is what my jar looks like. So when I put it back down, let me get my spoon here. When I put it back down, I just scrape it all down. And that's just how I make sure I know I have what I need in here. Because if I need to add more, I can just take it back out of that jar and put it in here. And then I'll just wipe the edges of this jar and I'll put it in the refrigerator and I'll use it for something. But today, this jar is not going in the refrigerator. It's going to be made into double chocolate bread. Okay, so my starter is right here. You can't really see it because of the gook, but it's right here. So it's about, I moved the band actually when I was doing it, but I get it to where it's about half of what it was when it started. About half. You have to have it between a third and a half. That's basically what I've noticed. So now is when I wipe my jar, because I just don't want all this goo on everything. And I just wipe this part. And this part gets dry and gray and crusty, and it doesn't hurt nothing. Once it gets too bad, I'll wash the jar, but it's fine right now. It's fine for the time being. Okay, so this is how easy this is. This is incredible. So I have about 180 grams of flour, about 180. And I got the bread and the rye flour. So I put this here so that I don't get flour all over the place. And I just dump my flour in. I still get it all over the place. I dump my flour in, and then there's the flour. And then I just start pouring some water and stirring. And I can usually tell if it needs more water by how it feels. And like right now, see, it's real dry. I don't know if you can see. It's real dry. So I'm going to add a little bit more water. And I just keep adding water until it feels like it's where I need it. And I still make sure I get all the edges. I still make sure I don't have any dry flour or pockets of water in there. Just to make sure that it's good and healthy. Just stirring it up real good here. Okay, so it's like a thick pancake batter. And that's the consistency I'm looking for. It's a very thick pancake batter. That's what I'm looking for. So I just scrape my sides down. This is literally what I've been doing every morning. I'm late feeding her, but that's okay. Because if she peaks out at a time in the day, and I still make sure I got no dry flour in there, guys. No dry flour on the edges, too. I just scrape the sides down, and you don't even need to make this beautiful or perfect because once she rises back up again, she fills all that in. Okay, I'm just going to set this aside. So now I'm going to make sure my band is where it's supposed to be. It always slides when when I'm dumping it, pouring it out. So the band it's hard to see because I don't clean this up. I really don't make sure this is all perfectly clean anymore because it just fills right up again and then it drops back down and there's no reason to keep cleaning your jar. At this stage, because she's so healthy, and I can guarantee when I come back in an hour or so, she's already gonna be up here. Like she's already gonna be up here. She grows rapidly, she grows well, she's doing well, she's doing healthy. I mean, it's incredible what I've done with this sourdough starter. It's incredible what I have done with this sourdough starter. She's happy, she's healthy, and I have discovered that the equal amounts of water and flour to starter, my starter was hungry. Because once I increased her, I just decided to overfeed her one day. I said, you know what? This is aggravating. It took over 2 weeks to start her. So over 2 weeks for me to get her really going as good as she is. So if you're feeling defeated because it's taking you a while, don't. Sometimes it's just trial and error. And that's what it was for me. It was trial and error. I decided she's hungry. So I gave her more. Gave her more water. I gave her more food, aka flour. I found out about if you don't have a filter on your water, on your faucet, you can use whatever bottled drinking water that would use. Hi, Cindy. Hi, sweetie. How are ya? You can use whatever bottled water you would drink, spring water, bottled water. That works too. I discovered no purified water. No purified water. Make sure you have more flour and more water than starter because your starter could be hungry. If the equal amounts are working for you, do it. Keep going. But if you struggle the way I did, I had to increase. So I wrote down what I was doing initially when I started overfeeding her. So what I was doing is 150 grams of starter, 180 grams of water, 90 grams of rye flour, and 90 grams of bread flour. So that's what I did. And I was keeping track because you can see on my notes, I got crossed off here. And then I got this. So I was really working on how to do this. And I even threw wheat starter in there. I had 100 grams of 100 grams of starter. I put 150 grams of wheat flour in there and 150 grams of water. It was a little puddly, but like I said, go by feel. It's nice and thick like a pancake batter. I can show y'all again because I can clean her back down. She's like a thick pancake batter. And she's doing good. She's happy, she's healthy, and she's alive. She's a happy starter. And like I said, don't judge the jar. Your jar's going to get gooky and ooky. You get dry, gray stuff up here. Ain't going to hurt nothing. It is not going to hurt a thing. So I wanted to give you all those tips and tricks because I had promised that I was going to. I wanted to make sure that I knew exactly what I was doing wrong and how I fixed it. But once I fixed it, my starter was hungry. That's the bottom line. It was cold in my kitchen. That was part of it. But because you do have to keep it somewhat warm. And this jar that I got this off the Zon. It also has stickers so that you can monitor the temperature on here. But I have a thermometer in my thermostat. Thermometer, whatever. in my bedroom, and my bedroom's usually the same because it's on my clock. It's usually the same temperature in the kitchen as is the bedroom. So if it's low in there, I know it's low in here, and I would just turn the oven on to warm the kitchen up. And she just sits on the counter now. She's getting the air. The oven was definitely, the oven's a great idea with the light on if you want to warm it up and not turn your oven on, but make sure you crack that door open because it needs that air. Because this is a wild yeast. It needs flour, water, and air. It's wild yeast. So you do have to make sure you're getting all of the above. And if it's not thriving, just increase. Like if you're doing 100, 100, 100, and it's just staying stagnant, because mine was just looking like this all the time. And this is my discard. It was looking like that all the time. And it wasn't getting super bubbly and beautiful and growing. If you're just play around with it. If you're doing 100, 100, 100, increase it. Increase your flour and water, 100 starter, and then increase your flour and water by 25 grams. I mean, just do it. Just try it. You're not going to hurt it. You're not going to hurt it. It might be a little thicker when you initially do that. It might be real thick. That's okay. That's okay. And it might take a couple of days until you see progress, but sometimes that's what it is. It's the type of water we're using. Never realized that it needs those minerals. It needs the minerals that also feeds your yeast. And I never realized that sometimes you got to have more food and water in your starter. But it's a wild yeast and you're just trying to get it to grow. I sure hope this helped y'all. And if you have any additional questions, like I said, don't judge the jar. She's happy. So I don't mind how she looks. I don't clean her every day anymore, just when she gets super bad. But right now she's not too bad. I don't clean her every day anymore. I just dump her, wipe her, and then I will wet this and put it back on. I like this. If you don't have this, you can always use like a paper towel and a rubber band. Or I also have, this came with the jar, but I also have small fabric bowl covers that I've gotten off of Amazon. Of course, ask. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help. I'm here to answer questions. Because, you know, sometimes I forget to cover something or whatever. You know, like when I made the fire cider, I forgot to put my garlic in. And I remembered later and put it in. But just use a paper towel and a rubber band if you don't have this. But I did get bowl covers, I think, off of the Zon. And a couple of them are this small. So, which I think they're kind of 4 jars. But I do have bowl covers, like fabric bowl covers. You can get them off the Zon. You can get them off Etsy. And they're not expensive. You know, they're not expensive. And this just, to me, is so easy because I can just rinse it under water, make sure it's wet. It dries out eventually. It's dry right now. But as long as it's moist for the beginning stage when it's growing, that's fine. It'll dry and it's fine. The other thing I did want to mention, what you'll notice when your starter starts to grow, and this is how I know when it's ready to bake with. It will grow, and when it's growing, it's kind of domed on the top while it's still growing. But once it's ready to use, like the yeast is at its peak, you'll notice that that little dome kind of flattens out. It may not be completely and totally flat, but it really gets a lot more flat than what it is when it's growing. So when your dome starts to kind of flatten out, that's when you know you're ready to cook. You're ready to bake. That's how I made the sourdough bread. That's how I made a whole bunch of stuff. You know it's ready, and you're like, okay, it's not domed, and it's just a ever so slight. And like my husband said, this is so scientific. But if you just pay attention, just watch it every day, and you'll start to notice the difference. Just watch it. And who cares if you have starter for a few days that you got to use the discard. I use the discard to make pancakes. I use the discard to make the crackers, waffles, pizza dough. You can use the starter when it's at its prime to make pizza dough, or you can use the discard to make pizza dough. I use the discard to make the naan bread. There's so many things that you can do with it. So it might take you a few days to really, it's just an ever so slight dome. And then suddenly it looks flatter. That's when you know you're good to go. Good to go. And yes, when you're making bread and you're making English muffins and you're making some of this stuff, it is different from the like manufactured yeast that you buy, you know, the powdered yeast. Sometimes it takes a little longer for your stuff to rise. Got to be patient. Sometimes you got to make it the night before, put it in the refrigerator. That's what I had to do with, I think, both the sourdough and the English muffins. I made it the night before, let it rise, and then I put it in the refrigerator. So you got to remember, it is different to work with it, but it's not impossible. You just got to plan around it. Okay, so instead of making my bread in the morning, I'm going to make it in the evening and pop it in the refrigerator. With both of them, though, you have to time it. Like I made it like just before dinner time, and then I let it rise. And once it rose, you put it in the fridge for the night, and then you finish in the morning. But as far as that's concerned, even that was making that sourdough bread, and my sourdough bread, not being like arrogant, that was my first ever loaf of true sour bread. And holy moly, I cannot believe how beautiful it turned out. I'll show you. It has like the most, this is a slice. It has the most beautiful air pockets in it. It turned out beautiful. It was crusty, but I have it in a bag. But it's got the most beautiful, it's like the most, mine is a little darker because I use the rye flour. Don't forget, if you use wheat flour or just bread flour, you can do this with just bread flour. If you do it with wheat or just bread flour, wheat, it'll be a little bit lighter. Just bread flour, you're going to have white. It'll be a white, your bread will look white. You can do it with just bread flour too. You can use all-purpose organic unbleached flour, but I don't know. I have been kind of watching some people who do that, and they don't have as much success. But that's just the people I've seen. You may be able to do it, but I just find having the organic flours that are unbleached, definitely whatever you use, don't use bleached. Plus two, I'm not using just regular rye. I use dark rye. So that's another reason. And my sourdough is pretty stinking sour, which it's supposed to be. It's got so many health benefits to it as well. So think about that. That sour taste that you're tasting, people who have gluten issues, they can eat sourdough. There's so many health benefits to it. So I just wanted to help y'all if you're struggling on this sourdough journey the way I was and how I figured it out. I hope these tips are helpful to you. Like I said, if you have any questions, whether you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching this on Facebook, because this will be uploaded to YouTube as well. Facebook is deleting all of our videos after 30 days. All of my older videos will be officially gone. All of my older lives will be gone as of the 4th of July. That I got my notification. The newer ones, they're all gonna, like the ones I did, I think the stew and stuff, the beef stew, those are going to be gone off Facebook as of Friday. So them's the rules. That's what they're doing now. So all of my videos will be uploaded to YouTube immediately from Facebook. So if you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching this on Facebook and you have questions, drop me a comment and I will definitely answer any questions that I can for you. If you're watching this on Facebook, please give me a like. If you're watching this on YouTube, give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, and I would greatly appreciate it. I will be trying my best to load as many videos as I can. Right now, it's just been kind of crazy busy, you know, doing sourdough. I got ketchup on the stove right now. I've been starting my seeds, so it's been kind of crazy busy. Plus, as Cindy knows, I've been organizing all my cupboards because I'm tired of things falling on me. And then I missed something yesterday or the day before, and I got a black toe. Time to go back through that one. It was the one that was down on the floor and I didn't see it. So it literally fell like this far and my toe is black. So it's been a crazy busy time. I will be trying to upload as many videos as I can. I am also going to try my best to, I have a spring/Easter craft that I really want to do. So I'm going to try my best to make time to do that with y'all. So like I said, if you have any questions, drop me a comment. I'll do my best to answer them. Cindy, text me if you have a question. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. I'm so happy to help. So thank y'all for being here. I wish you peace, blessings, and love, and I will see y'all in the next video. Have a blessed, blessed day, y'all.